Oh, hey there.
Oh, we didn't see you come in. Welcome.
Welcome to Aiden and Ashley in the Morning.
Today we're here at Virginia Commonwealth University in the Honors College. It is so great to be here. The Honors College here at the university really emphasizes a diverse sort of program of study. They require their students to have a minor or a double major, dual major, something like that. So here we're just really trying to look into what it means to have diverse interests and how that can play into someone's everyday life. For example, people think that if you have a mathematical sort of mindset, sort of brain, that you cannot apply yourself to arts or literature or stuff like that. And now we're finding that that really isn't true. We have a lot of interesting interviews with people who are really kind of proving that wrong.
So now let's go to Caitlin, who has done an interview with Professor Childress, who is a calculus teacher here at the university, but also has an interest in poetry.
I think this is going to be really interesting. Let's go to the interview.
We're here with Professor Childress, who teaches Calc 1 and Calc 2 here at VCU, and he has a dual interest in poetry and math, so we're going to ask him a couple questions about that. So, Professor, how long have you had an interest in poetry?
Actually, formally, it started when I was in college when we were asked to write. It was a class with all guys in the class, and I liked it, and it turned out to be a disaster for most of the people hated writing it, and it's kind of one of those things, anytime you excel at something that other people are having difficulty with, it's kind of a pat on the back and makes you want to do better.
Right.
So this was back in 1961. I was a freshman at the University of Richmond.
Okay.
And that sparked my interest in it.
That's awesome. That was a long time ago. All right, well then, if you had that interest, what made you choose a profession in math as opposed to a career in English or creative writing?
Well, actually, a lot of reasons for going into math versus creative writing things. One is I wasn't so smart, but I was smart enough to know that I'd probably have a job.
Right.
Second of all, I looked at things like English, and it just seems to be there's no definitive end when you're through with an assignment. Whereas in math, you get that answer and you're there. I find that too, though, a lot of people say it looks like they're using two different parts of the brain, but actually, if you really think about poetry is structured, and so is mathematics. And in mathematics, one of the goals is you want to make sure that there are no open-ended questions, but yet you don't want to put down superfluous information that's not necessary or that's redundant. And actually poetry, if you think about it, poetry is just another form of writing that has all of the same ingredients that short story writing and novel writing. You have a theme, you have an introduction, you have the body, you have the... But in poetry, you can't waste words, or you really shouldn't. Now, some people do ramble with poetry, as I'm probably rambling with my discussion here. But at the same time, if they're not so disjunct as people think it's using two different parts of the brain, but I find them to be using the same parts of the brain.
I feel like your dual interests help you connect with a broader range of students, or does it help you kind of connect with them on different levels since you have students that might be from different majors?
Well, I find one thing, it seems like so many people have a phobia towards mathematics. And I do think that, and they're excusable, but I'm an art student or I'm a liberal arts student, and you can't expect me, I wouldn't know math. And I think in a way that gives them a level of comfort. Wait a minute, you maybe understand some of this, or can appreciate that I'm in another field. And maybe since I feel like he can appreciate, he being me, my varied interests, maybe I'll try to understand his, one of which is mathematics.
Right.
So I think any barrier you can take down, certainly with mathematics, because there's a barrier for many people towards it, and I think certainly nothing lost there.
Right. All right, well, do you know any other professors here at VCU that pursue multiple interests like you do with your poetry?
Oh, well, I think it's really funny, and especially as students don't realize this, but as you get older, your interests become very things. I know one mathematician who's all he talks about is he mines for gold.
Oh, wow.
And that interests him, and he loves to get in a truck and go out into the boonies and with all these people and mine for, and some do wood carving and things of this nature. I find it's not just in this field. My dad, for example, was very artistic, but he was a railroad engineer, and he didn't finish high school. And you would think, well, but yet he was unbelievable in his ability to work in crafts.
Right.
And in fact, that's the strength in my family. I'm the outlier. I couldn't do anything with my hands, so what could I do but teach? You know, so.
Wow, that was really interesting.
That was a great interview, really enlightening. So, apart from the faculty here at VCU, we've been talking to some students that also have the varied, sort of interests. And our ACE reporter, Tara, took it to the streets to talk to some children here. Let's see how that turned out.
What is your major?
My major is biology with a pre-med track.
I am currently majoring in biomedical engineering at VCU.
My major is biology.
I'm an art foundation major right now. I'm planning on going into sculpture next year.
Do you have any other interests that are unrelated to your major?
I like to dance in my free time. I like to paint a lot, mostly with acrylics, like the cheap stuff that you get at Michael's.
I have artistic interests, yes. Despite loving math and science for a long time, I also kind of have this creative side to me that really likes to just to make things and to express myself in ways that science and math really can't. So
I like to play music. I play an instrument. It's an Indian instrument. It's called the harmonium. And I also dance for the VCU Bhangra team, and I really enjoy that as well.
I do think English is interesting. I like reading a lot. And I like writing a little bit, not necessarily poetry.
Do your friends know about your other interest?
It's more of a secret thing that I keep to myself.
I'd say they definitely see my math and science side a lot more, but I don't necessarily hide them, but usually they don't find out about them until later when we're like actually doing something, and then they'll be like, oh, I didn't know you could draw, or I didn't know that you knew how to photo edit and that. I thought you were just a big nerd.
Well, a lot of people know about it because I've played in public areas, and I also dance for the team at VCU, so my friends do.
Why did you choose not to pursue this other interest?
I feel like it's something as a hobby, so I feel like if I did it as a major and it was like a full-time thing, I would get annoyed with it, or I wouldn't like it as much, and like I would have no escape. So it's just something that I want to appreciate when I have the time to do it.
Do you prefer a professor that is well-rounded or one that is an expert in a field?
An expert, but I don't know, I don't really care as long as they know their stuff. And actually it doesn't matter if they don't know their stuff either. I just like humor, and that in itself is an art, I think.
Actually, I enjoy it when teachers are focused on their topics, and the reason I say that is because when they're in the teaching environment, I want to learn about what they're teaching, and so I think when they're able to know more deeply what they're talking about and they can just kind of focus on that, I really enjoy that. But as people, I enjoy hearing about the well-roundedness, like outside the classroom, just like hearing about them as individuals. Like I think the well-roundedness is more important in that aspect.
From the professors that I've had, I feel like a lot of them are well-rounded. They know a lot about different subjects, and they tend to keep an eye out for not just their specialization, but others as well.
I think I'd like a well-rounded professor. A well-rounded professor.
Oh, well, you look at the time.
Oh, no more for today, but we've had a really great segment learning about these diverse interests. It's been really awesome. So don't forget, tune in tomorrow for Aiden and Ashley in the morning. See you tomorrow.